It was another week for the Jaguars with another loss for the Jaguars. There was a lot of people frustrated about this loss. I was watching on Twitter, and there were a lot of Jaguars fans getting angry about this particular loss. But it wasn't particularly surprising to me. It's a 2-10 football team going into this game. They came out 2-11, and it really looked like every Jaguars game we've seen this season. The defense wasn't terrible, which is good, I guess, but the offense was. Absolutely. Mike Mularkey said after the game that the third quarter was the quarter where the Jaguars really lost it. And that was a quarter when Bilal Powell and Sean Green of the Jets really shredded up the Jaguars' defensive line. But really the story of that quarter was the Jaguars' inability to move the football at all. They had 4 consecutive 3-and-outs in that quarter, and it really changed the momentum after the Jaguars were leading 3-0 at halftime. Chad Henne had a rough day, finished with fewer than 50% of his passes completed, quarterback rating under 50, 2 interceptions, no touchdowns, couldn't crack 200 yards even though he threw the ball 40 times. So it was a bad game for him, but on the same note, it wasn't all his fault. It certainly wasn't. He wasn't helped by the offensive line. They didn't block very well. He got sacked 3 times, and there was more pressure than just those 3 sacks, including his first interception when he was hit as he threw. Although he probably should have gotten rid of the ball earlier. But he wasn't helped either by his receivers. Kevin Elliott had a rough day. 3 big drops. None of the drops were very difficult plays. Justin Blackmon didn't help it a whole lot either. He finished with 6 catches, was the Jaguars' leading receiver, but he had a couple plays that he could have made, plays that you expect a 5th overall selection to make. It wasn't a bad game for Blackmon, but we're really waiting for one of those games where he shows the ability that he showed at Oklahoma State. Against the Texans, that was the closest we've seen. He had a big breakout game, and what we really want to see is the guy going up for catches in traffic and breaking tackles, because that's what we know that he's capable of doing, or at least he was in college. So we need to see more plays like that, and he showed those against the Texans. But at this point in the season, really all we're looking for is growth like that. The wins and losses don't matter. They're far removed from the playoffs at this point. And the race really at this point is for the #1 overall selection. The Jaguars and Chiefs are tied with the NFL's worst records at 2-11, with the Raiders just behind them at 3-10. Both the Panthers and the Eagles won this week, so a top 3 pick looks very likely unless the Jaguars can pull out at least 2 wins in their last 3 games, which are the Dolphins, the Patriots, and then the Titans. So the Dolphins have been struggling as of late. The Jaguars beat the Titans a few weeks ago. The Patriots are obviously the Jaguars are going to be huge underdogs in that week, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Jaguars pull out a win. 2 wins would probably surprise me. But the Jaguars are behind both the Raiders and the Chiefs in the strength of schedule tiebreaker, and likely finish the season that way. So unless the Chiefs and Raiders both start winning games, which they are playing each other in Week 15, so that one of them is going to have to win. But unless one of those teams starts winning a lot, the Jaguars are probably going to be in the top three range, and they'll be battling those teams for the top pick. And they'll probably finish behind them, barring wins from either of those teams. But that's really all there is to look for at this point. Hopefully Cecil Shorts gets back in Week 15. He was out with a concussion. Because his pursuit of 1,000 yards is something fun to root for. He's a fan favorite. And it would be nice if the Jaguars got more rushing performances like they did today from Montel Owens. He had a really nice day. 91 yards is the most that any Jaguars running back has had since Week 3. And he only did it on 14 carries, and he had a big breakaway run late in the game. So more performances like that would be nice. We'll be breaking down more Jaguars film, more talk about what they're going to be needing to do in the offseason on Big Cat Country. So check out Big Cat Country and subscribe to the YouTube channel here, and we'll for all kinds of Jaguars analysis. This is Adam Stites. See you guys next week.